I know you're scared. Yeah, I'd be too. If I were you. I know you're scared. I'd be too. If I were you. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. 'Cause all the girls suck. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. You better bring your A game.
What's going on, guys? JJ Vikings here with a special guest, James Ness from YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. He's on all the social media apps. Very passionate Vikings fan, and it's great to have you on today.
Thank you.
And I want to jump right into it by asking this question.
Uh,
How did you first become a Vikings fan? Since you're located in Duluth, Minnesota.
I became a fan when on the Minneapolis game, and then it took off from there.
So the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah, the Minneapolis Miracle. Really.
I became a fan during the 2016 season, I believe it was, watching Cordero Patterson in his prime, Adam Thielen in his prime, and the Minneapolis Miracle was a really big deal for me too. I was living in Roseville, Minnesota. I remember being 7 years old, always going to go visit my grandpa. Well, I call him my grandpa. He's on my stepdad's side of the family since he introduced me to being a Vikings fan. But always going to go visit him. You know, it was always a long drive to go up to Duluth, and it was always so cold there. You know, but what's it like in Duluth? I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah, it's fantastic. There's a lot of nice people in Duluth.
Oh, I believe it. There's a lot of nice people everywhere. There's nice people everywhere in Minnesota. You know, it's a very special place to be in. So I wanted to start off by asking, which Vikings game did you love the most this season?
This season, probably the 49ers game.
Oh, you went to that game, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was a big game, you know, a big statement win without Justin Jefferson, and still this team going out there and doing what they did. Just truly lots of adversity that the team faced this season. But the fact is we were able to overcome that adversity and go shine against a really, really good team and a great respectable team in San Francisco that also has a wonderful defense. So the fact that we were able to beat them is also pretty amazing. So that's up there in the games for me too. But also that Josh Dobbs game. That game was magical for Josh Dobbs and the Vikings fans, and just him going out there not even knowing the players' names, going out there getting that win against Atlanta, and again, lots of adversity. Like that's the main thing we've been facing this season, and honestly, this is the most adversity I've ever faced in a season as a Vikings fan. So I hope that next season will be a lot better.
Yeah, what was your thoughts when Addison caught that improbable catch was before halftime of that 49ers game?
Oh, against Travarius Ward?
Yeah.
Oh, my reaction, I was yelling at the TV in happiness, man. I was like, oh my God, what the heck just happened? You know? That was crazy because that was Addison's get back because Ward did that to him earlier in the game. So the fact that Addison was able to make that comeback and do that was crazy.
I had Addison for my fantasy team. He went off that game.
Oh man, you must have been in fantasy heaven.
I was
in that
bro.
game, man.
That was awesome, bro.
That was a big game. And the worst game for the Vikings in the 2023 season, I'm gonna say the Vikings-Bears game.
Vikings-Bears game, man. I was at that game. That was so bad. Or what about the Raiders versus Vikings?
Well, you see, that game was a win, so it's hard to say that it's the worst game. But it's like the 2023 season has been so like no one took it seriously. Like the 2023 season was so unserious. You know, 70-20 in the Broncos-Dolphins game. 63-21, the Raiders beat the Chargers by that much, and then that was after we beat them 3-0. Like this season has been so like. The scores have just been so terrible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And, you know, I hate to say it, but this team, we were clowns at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say the worst game was against the Packers, losing that blowout to ring in the new year.
Oh,
That was unfortunate. And then losing to the Lions twice. I didn't like that. I
yeah.
didn't like the way we were playing against the Lions on that schedule. I don't really like playing a team like in week 16 and then week 18. That's less than a week. That's like a week to 2 weeks to prepare. So it's not that much of a time length. So I didn't really agree with that. But it was a tough season. I did go to the game that I went to was the Vikings Buccaneers game. I met Alexander Madison on the field. I saw Harrison Phillips, but I didn't get to talk to him. But I met Cameron Bynum outside, met Wes Phillips, met Brian Flores. Unfortunately, I just missed Kwesi, almost saw him. But I'll see him next time for sure. But I was really excited for the 2023 season, and it's sad how it turned out. We could have made the playoffs for sure. There was a point during the season where we controlled our own destiny, and we just let it slip between our fingers, and that's on us, man. And we gotta get better, and I'm sure we will. And I'm excited for the draft. And I wanted to ask you, what's your opinion on this Vikings quarterback situation? Should we keep? Should we let him go?
I think we sign him to a 1 to 2 year deal and hopefully re-sign JJ. My other question to you is, how do you feel about the Vikings letting go of Madison?
Oh, that was so sad, man.
Oh, bro,
We both love Madison.
our
He,
guy,
he did
bro.
he did so much for both of us.
Jeez.
Man, you know, I don't like minus production. I understand his production wasn't the best last season. Well, this past season, I guess I could say. But it was just so sad, man.
Oh,
That guy was a hero in Minnesota, but
yeah.
he just had a bad football year. That's all it is. And I don't think Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi felt happy to do that because they know how good of a person that Alexander Madison truly is. So that was pretty sad for me. But also, we kind of knew it was going to happen too, but we never wanted it to. But I truly wish him the best, and I think that a team will pick him up for sure. But minus that, I think that the quarterback situation for the Vikings, I say re-sign Kirk, then draft a quarterback. But the thing is, I like Jaden Daniels, right? But he seems like a day one starter, and I don't think he's a guy. I don't think he's the type of guy to sit behind a Kirk Cousins and learn behind a Kirk Cousins when he's already a day one starter caliber player. So I think that that's going to be a difficult situation. But JJ McCarthy, that guy's rising up, and I'm excited to see what he can do. But he's definitely a guy that I'd like us to draft too. Drake May is getting up there a little bit too. So lots of great guys in the draft, and I can't wait to see Kwesi's decision.
Yeah, me too. What was it like meeting Cameron Bynum?
Oh, guy's an absolute beast, man. A great player, but an even better person. Very very kind, very humble, very hardworking, and very very truthful as well. But not only that, he's willing to help others. He's very willing to go out of his way to make people happy. He does a great job at honoring his country. Honoring like where he gets his heritage from, I could say. I don't really know the full story, but he is Filipino, and he loves honoring the Philippines and bringing American football to the Philippines. So that's something that he loves to do, and I love watching him do it. So, and he's been rising up so much, leading the team in tackles, getting the game-winning interception against the Niners. Man, that was crazy. That was crazy. I was kind of expecting it, but also not expecting it because it just came out of nowhere. He snatched that ball right out of the air, and then from there on, he's just been balling. And people doubted him when he was playing football in Southern California, and people doubted him because of his size. They didn't see him as an impact player until later in his career, coming to the Vikings and being a superstar.
Mm-hmm. And then, what do you think we'll do with our running back situation?
I say keep Ty Chandler and Cam Akers. Those are two reliable backs right there. Cam Akers got us our first rushing touchdown of the season, and Ty Chandler got us even more touchdowns. So I say you keep those guys. They're unique players. good running abilities, very shifty. I hope Cam Akers does recover from the Achilles injury.
Mhm. Or do we go after a free agent running back like Saquon, Tony Pollard, etc.?
If it's Saquon, he's got to behave himself and not ask for too much money. So that's the thing with Saquon Barkley. But I think we should be all in on Saquon. I think he's definitely still a game changer. And I mean, we saw what he did to us in the playoff game. He ran the ball right down our throats. So the thing with Saquon is, I think he can definitely still do that. And if we can't get him, luckily we have those skilled players that we can get for a cheaper price, like Tony Pollard or Zach Moss. But what I have to ask you is, what do you think we should do overall? Like, should we get on defense? I'm going to switch to the defense. Should we sign Christian Wilkins?
I think we should. Honestly, that would be really fun to see him sign with Minnesota.
He knows Brian Flores.
He does? I didn't know that.
They were both on the Dolphins, so they know each other.
Yeah, that'd be really fun to have him in Minnesota. Or do we go after like a cornerback?
I'd say a guy like L'Jarius Sneed or Xavier Howard, another guy who knows Brian Flores. So you have lots of skillful players, especially on defense in this free agency. So you don't exactly have to put all your energy towards the draft to find your skillful player, but there are some of those skillful guys in the draft. But free agency is stacked, and we have to take advantage of that and get our guys. So that's what I'm most excited about too. Has there been anyone in free agency that's intrigued you the most?
Case Keenum. Case Keenum's a free agent.
Oh my god, I miss that guy so much.
Yeah.
The Minneapolis Miracle, the 2017 season, man, that was a once in a lifetime season.
Yeah, that was crazy. And the other one that intrigued me is Patrick Peterson. He's not re-signing with the Steelers. Wait. Was it Pat P or was it a different player? Maybe I have that wrong. Oh no, Eric Kendricks. That's maybe who I was thinking of instead of Patrick Peterson.
Eric Kendricks played for the Chargers. And then Patrick Peterson played for the Steelers.
Yeah, no. Eric Kendricks is the free agent.
Yeah. At first I wanted us to bring the band together because Anthony Barr's on the Vikings right now. So I felt like that'd be pretty cool, but we got to look into the future. No matter the nostalgia that we have, I think we have to look into the future and the future only. So, yeah. But what I do think though is you want to find that young guy that has a spark in them, that has that talent that you need to fill in the gaps. And I hope Kwesi finds a guy like that in the draft.
Yeah, do we resign Danielle Hunter? Is that something we can do?
That should be a priority. Resigning Danielle Hunter should be a priority. We need that pass rush. We need it.
We need it. What's our cap situation looking like?
Well, I heard Kirk Cousins. I heard from, I think, Vocal Like on YouTube that if we would get rid of Kirk, we might have this like $28 million cap hit, something like that. I'm not really good with like the financial side of the NFL, but if we get rid of Kirk, we're just gonna have to eat that cap. You can only avoid cap for so long. So I think that we just have to eat it and try and find a different guy. But if we do get rid of Kirk, the guys that they're suggesting, like Zach Wilson.
Oh yeah, that's
Sam Darnold.
Oh brother.
Nope. No. I'd rather take a guy like Baker Mayfield or maybe even Ryan Tannehill, just like because they're decent quarterbacks. They're decent, and they're like good stopgap guys or bridge quarterbacks. So I think that'd be pretty good because you want to find that guy who's a veteran and has good experience and is a solid quarterback. so that you can have time to develop your young quarterback and get ready for the future. We need to win the Super Bowl within the next 5 years, and we can if we get the future if we get our future guys, and if Kwesi gets this draft right.
I would hate to do this to you, but what about Russell Wilson?
Well, I don't really hate Russell Wilson as much as other Vikings fans do. I still do think that he has some skills in him, but I feel like the Broncos kind of wasted him.
Yeah, they did. So how did you get a lot of these Viking or players or media people inside the Vikings to follow you or whatever like that?
It was mostly because of my time in the Vikings facility, going to US Bank Stadium, reaching out to them on Twitter, just tagging them to my videos on Twitter, doing whatever I can to get them to recognize me. And they did, and players also recognized you. I saw Garrett Bradbury, Alexander Madison, CJ Ham, KJ Osborne. They all reached out to you too. So that was pretty nice for you, man.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I gotta keep up the grind. Gotta keep working hard to be what I want to be, and I truly do think it's a blessing to have these Vikings people continuing to recognize me and to support me. That's an absolute blessing.
Yeah.
And what I do think about this whole situation, I think that you can't mess this draft up. You can't mess free agency up. Kirk is either here or he's not. You're either going to get a good guy in free agency or the draft or not. You're either going to get the draft right or not. Like guys like Cal Hamilton, I hope you can't make that same mistake again. You can't pass up on a guy like Cal Hamilton again. I know Vikings fans don't even want to hear his name because they feel the pain about not getting him. Like he was right there, physical guy, good safety, great safety. Probably would have loved to play alongside Harrison Smith. But during the 2022 NFL Draft, we were promised that Kyle Hamilton was going to play in purple, just not the right purple.
Yeah. What was even more painful is that the Vikings passed on Andrew Winfield Jr.
Oh yeah, we have a chance. We had a chance to sign him. I'm pretty sure the Bucks franchise tagged him though.
Yeah, that was pretty painful.
Yeah, we passed up on a lot of guys. But Justin Jefferson, he was cooking Antoine Winfield in the Vikings Bucks game. Another game that we should have won, obviously. Turnovers I'm gonna say in the first 5 games of the season, turnovers killed us the most in those first 5 games. They were just terrible. But hey, man, it was an absolute blast to have you on to talk Vikings football, and I hope we don't mess this up in the draft, man. Fingers crossed for us to get those talented guys in the draft and to build a great team overall. And I'm hoping the best for our team because we deserve it. We deserve to go win that Lombardi Trophy. If we get this draft right, we might. And I'm excited about the future, man. So it was great having you on. And sweet legs. Let's go.
Let's go.